David Boaz, could you please do a roll call? Make sure we have a quorum.
Maureen Deviere,
Present.
Richard Hamilton,
Present.
Bobby Lovett,
Here.
John Hess,
Here.
Ruth Reese,
Here.
Joyce Reese,
Here.
David Corness,
Here.
Donald Foster, Buster Fabro,
Here.
David Bose is here, Patricia Caputo,
Here.
Dominic Carnaglia,
Here.
Kelly Jensen, Stuart Richland,
Here.
Joanne Robinson,
Here.
Jerry Sutowski, David Israel. We have a quorum. Did I forget anybody? We have one guest, Michael Zaslow, and our dignitary at the top of it. And we have a quorum.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes in a second.
So moved.
David makes a motion, seconded by John Hess. Are there any corrections to the minutes as presented? I know everybody read them, and we're gonna have a quick quiz. Who submitted the minutes?
I did.
No, that was a trick question. Okay. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Minutes will be accepted as presented. Okay. Monica, you're up.
Great. Good afternoon, everybody. Today, you're looking at a statement of the operations for the 7 months ended May 31st. The revenue for the month totaled $550,000. Expenses for the month, $792,000, so we have a loss for the month of $241,000. You'll see the big number there, repairs and maintenance. That's your roof coming into play there, of course. Year to date, the total revenue is $3,963,000. We budgeted $3,923,000, so we have a positive variance of right at $40,000 for our revenue year to date. Year-to-date expenses are $4,143,000, so the year-to-date loss is $181,000. We had budgeted for the 7 months a loss of $659,000, so we have an overall positive variance of $478,000. If you look down the right side of your page on your expenses, every single line item, with the exception of 3, has brackets around it, meaning we're running a surplus, we're under budget. So that's a good thing. Your social activity summary at the bottom, theater income for the month was $4,700. For your theater, dances, and movies, we paid $7,200, so we have a loss of $2,485. Year to date, theater and dance revenue, $258,000. We spent $280,000, so we have a loss of $22,000. We had budgeted a loss of $66,000, so we have a positive variance of $44,498. Any questions? Okay. The next report is your cash report. Our total operating funds at the end of May were $899,000. Our windstorm deductible reserve $791,000, and our contingency and infrastructure improvement reserves $222,000. So our total reserve funds are $1,013,000. Total available cash $1,912,000. Next report is your social activities P&L, and this is for June. So for the month of June, we had 1,075 people attending the theater performances. Our gross sales were $7,329. Net sales $6,150, and we spent $5,000 for the performers. So we had a profit of $1,150. You had 336 people attending your Friday night dances. We paid $1,430 to the DJs. You had 373 people attending your 4 movies for the month, and we paid $1,284 for your movies. So between your theater, dances, and movies, the loss for the month is $1,564, which is not bad for this time of the year.
No.
Yeah, not at all. Okay. The next report is your revenue collected from guests, and this is also through June. Year-to-date, resident box office sales are $154,000. Your guest sales at the box office are $54,543. So that totals $208,215 in total box office sales. As far as the number of tickets that represents, there's been 13,490 tickets sold to residents versus 3,831 tickets sold to guests. So your total tickets sold 17,321. Included in the theater revenue for the guest is $11,493, which is the $3 that a guest pays extra for each theater performance they attend. We've also collected $29,446 from guest passes sold in the ID office, and additional guest passes sold in the staff office, $9,419. So year-to-date, for the 8 months, we've collected $50,358 from guest revenue. Questions? Last report is your Estoppel results. This is through June as well. There were 41 units sold in this community in June versus 54 in June of the prior year. Year-to-date, there's been 357 units sold versus same period in the prior year, where there were 461 units sold. So it's a decrease of 140 units, or 23%. Year-to-date, we've collected $76,160 in Estoppel income, which compares to a $960,000 loss from the prior year. Not loss, but reduction in income as a result of that. I have 2 other things I wanted to mention that, actually 3 other things. One is on the agenda, the other 2 are not. Let's go with a quick one that's not on the agenda. Someone had asked me last month, I don't recall who it was at the time, how our delinquencies were in this community. Obviously, I didn't know the number off the top of my head, but I put together a report. And I can tell you that, and this is at the end of June, as of June 30th, there were only 473 units in this entire community that are delinquent to WPRF.
How many?
473 units that are delinquent. That is up slightly from where it was, I would say, at near the end of 2023. It looks like the low number for the whole 2023 was 390 units, which is 5% of the total units in the community. So at 473 at the end of June, that's 6% of the total number of units. So considering the environment we're in right now, I don't consider that to be very bad. In fact, of the 3 communities, this community has the lowest delinquency rate. So, we have 2 units in the asset recovery program that have been in the program for quite a while. One of them has the foreclosure sale already scheduled for late August, and the other one, I believe, we have the supposed to have our motion for summary judgment tomorrow, so the date for that sale will be set very soon as well. And we have a third unit that just entered the program. So there'll be two coming out of the program and one going in. Another thing I wanted to mention to you, and this is something I consider to be a big deal. I want to talk a minute about our umbrella insurance. If you recall, when Phil Massey, was your partner, was here last week, he told us that they did not have all the quotes in for the umbrella program. He told us that he thought there would be a significant increase. And boy, was he right. It came in, when they got all the layers of coverage together, an increase of 54% in the premium. When I got that email last Friday afternoon, I about fell out of my chair, and I looked at these numbers and I said, this is not sustainable. This is not something that I am comfortable with us moving forward with, because the premium for the umbrella for the 3 communities is $1 million. The umbrella is $30 million of coverage. That's the limit, and that's what we've had ever since I've been working with the insurance program for the last 26 years. So I went to Mark Levy and to our legal department and recommended that we seriously consider lowering the amount of the umbrella coverage that we have. I recommended that we lower it perhaps to 10 million and maybe even 5 million, because I just can't see paying that kind of money for an umbrella policy. You know, years ago, the umbrella insurance was very, very inexpensive. It cost next to nothing for an umbrella policy. Well, that started to change about 3 years ago. And every year it's just gotten larger and larger and larger. So last year, the premium for the 3 communities for the $30 million umbrella was like, I think it was $692,000, something like that. So now it's $1 million, and I'm like, I don't want to move forward with this insurance program that Assured Partners worked very hard to put together. But nevertheless, the final decision is that we all collectively agreed to lower the umbrella from $30 million to $5 million. So what that means for this community, instead of the, let's see, what was it? Phil reported to you guys that there would be a $31,000 decrease from the expiring policy to the new policy. But that was with leaving the same level of premium for the umbrella that was your allocation last year. So now that we've decided to drop the umbrella to $5 million, your difference between your expiring premiums and the new program that starts actually in a couple of days, August 1st, is a $59,000 decrease. So I hope everybody's okay with that. You know, we've all these years we've had this umbrella policy and never had a single claim until this past year. So I don't see that I don't think it's right to saddle the residents with these kind of premiums I don't think the exposure and the risk is worth what the premiums are, you know, coming out to at this point in time. So overall, I think it's good news. At least your total premium is going down, not up. Yes, Patricia?
I
I hear what you're saying, and I know it's a lot of money, but
Speak
this
into
is.
the mic, Patricia, or speak louder, please.
Can-
Thanks.
Turn it around.
I'm sorry. There's no point on your mic.
Sorry. I understand that it's very expensive and it covers a lot, 30 million is a lot. This is a big piece of property and we're expecting, normally I'd say that that's a good idea, but they have been calling for 5 to 8 hurricanes. So I don't think 5 million. If-
No, this
This is
is
liability insurance.
only the
excuse
umbrella
me,
for
I'm sorry.
liability.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you think 5 million is enough?
Well,
It's still liability, you think that would be enough?
I think we should try it for this year, yeah.
We can always buy more next year if the
Right.
market improves and things start to look better.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, in 26 years, we've never had a single claim against our umbrella policy until this last year.
Monica, can you tell us the nature of that claim this past year?
I certainly
where?
can. It was a claim in Pembroke Pines. It's a very, very sad story and nothing that we ever really should have even been involved in. But an individual came into the community there on a motorcycle, piggybacked on a van. And security, because we're responsible for security in Boca and in Pembroke Pines, security didn't see the motorcycle. He came into the community, went to a unit, knocked on the door. The woman opened the door and let him in, and he proceeded to sexually assault her for hours. And it was his own mother.
What?
What?
Yes, ma'am,
His own mother.
his own mother.
All right, just want the committee to keep in mind that in 2020, there was a similar incident here at Century Village where a murderer walked through our gates, past security. There was a major claim, obviously, that was settled recently, and it touched on our umbrella policy. So there's one, here's another. I think that should inform our decision here.
World's changing.
It is, you know, one of the reasons that we felt more comfortable with the $5 million is because of the changes in, tort reform. And both of these claims that we're talking about took place before tort reform, where now the claimant has to be, if they're at least 50% responsible for the incident, it limits the amount that they are entitled to. And we think that the attorneys see that as a positive thing and think that that's going to be helpful in cases like this going forward. Because clearly this woman, opened the door and let this man in. And it wasn't even on our property, but because our security company, our security vendor allowed this gentleman to come into the community, that's why we got brought into the suit. Yes, David?
I think all of us know a little bit about what the umbrella policy is. Could you explain to all of us what this actually does for us? What the umbrella does for us?
Well, your general liability policy has a per occurrence limit of $1 million and $2 million aggregate. So if you have a claim that exceeds $1 million, it's automatically gonna, whatever that excess claim is, would be filed under the umbrella policy.
Okay. And that's the way it's more or less played out for us. What I'm curious to know, and if it's confidential, please say it. How much of the final payout, the settlement, rested on the management of the clubhouse, and how much on the security vendor? Like, what was the proportion? Full disclosure, it was 80-20 for us. 20 on you go, 80% on the security contract.
Well, pretty similar on
Okay.
this case. I mean, it was only $500,000
Okay.
ding on the umbrella policy.
Okay.
Because it was $1.5 million settlement. But the security company, I don't know exactly what their claim was, but it was exorbitant compared to ours.
I think that we should try this year and then try to come up, if this is going to continue, to try to do something different for the future. Whether it would be to start a special fund, whatever that cost be, to be put into a fund just for that in case of an emergency. Instead of having to buy that insurance, that we put the money aside for that.
Sure, that's always an option, absolutely.
I mean, partially self-insured. I mean, we're talking $400,000 if we were to take, 26 years and put it that, $100,000, you'd have
Sure.
$26 million sitting in the bank,
Mhm.
to cover us. We wouldn't need the insurance.
Right,
Did I understand it correctly? It was $30 million coverage for $1 million, right?
No.
No,
it
is that
was
what you
a
said?
$30 million limit on the umbrella,
And it would cost you $1 million?
Yes.
yes.
Okay. So we're cutting it down almost to nothing, to $5 million, and
Right,
it's still gonna cost us 59?
No.
no,
About 600,000.
the 59,000 is the decrease between our expiring premiums and the new
New one.
program for
Right.
next year.
So,
So the total
Yeah, I think so.
premium,
Right.
like I said, for the 30 million was $1,073,000.
Right.
Now for the 5 million,
okay.
the premium is 598,000.
Monica, could we have a couple of days to work on this? I mean, I know that we're getting down because the policy starts
2 days.
in 2 days.
Yes,
Yes, we don't have much choice.
Why do we?
Well, no, so we need Suzanne here, but, okay. Well, I mean, I think it's a good call for the moment, but I think we start planning for next year, that we have a contingency plan, because insurance is not gonna get any cheaper, and especially if there's gonna be any kind of a claim to,
right. Well, when we have our budget meetings, we could even go ahead,
Yeah.
this year and start a
Yeah.
reserve if you want to do that. We can do
Okay.
so.
yeah. We were gonna try to run it by our insurance chair that's got
Yeah.
plenty of years,
Would you
but
like for me to call Suzanne and discuss this with her? I'd be glad to.
Why don't we do it right now?
Yes, why don't we, yes.
That's fine.
Call Suzanne.
I mean, that's what we have professionals for.
This is a major decision.
Yeah, but it makes sense.
Well, it's saving you $145,000 in premium, which is a lot of money.
It is.
So today she went to the casino.
I just spoke to her Monday.
All right, why don't we do that? Let's-
I mean, I didn't discuss any of this with her. We were just touching base with one another.
Pending,
Well, let's just leave it at this for right now.
Okay. So do you want me to call her, or are you guys gonna speak to her?
It's best if she
Go directly.
Okay,
Tell them what's what, and let us know.
okay, all right,
That makes sense, everybody?
Yes, yes, it makes more sense than
okay. The last thing I have is I wanted to set a date, if we could, for our initial budget meeting. We know it usually takes 2 or 3 meetings, but our documents require that I present the budget to you no later than September 1st. So it's gonna be here before we know it. I would like to know from you guys if you want to have me present the budget at our August ops meeting, which is Tuesday, August 27th, or if we want to set a special day apart from the regular monthly meeting, to have our initial budget meeting. We could try for either August 29th, which is a Thursday, or August 30th, which is a Friday.
That's not good.
No good?
It's the executive board meeting that day.
Oh, okay.
I think we need more than a day to try to chew on that. I mean, I think we should pick something the second week, because it's gonna take at least two
Oh,
meetings.
yeah.
So you can't wait till the last week. I think we should put something on the second week and then finish it up on the third week, so we have a week.
So you're okay with granting me an extension then, so that maybe we could meet on like September 4th?
Well,
That's a Wednesday, or is the Wednesday not a good day? It doesn't matter to me.
I'm trying to, what I'm saying is, the second week in August, we should pick a date, maybe the Thursday in August, the second week, whatever that day is.
Well,
To have
my
a-
point is, I'm not gonna be ready before the 27th, I
Oh.
don't think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why it's so far at the end of the month, because I've got a tremendous amount of work to do. I've got 5 budgets all at the same time.
So you need an extra couple of days in September.
That would be terrific,
Yeah, I think so.
if
Okay.
that's okay.
I don't have a problem with that. Does anybody have a problem with giving?
No.
Okay, Monica, we're gonna give you 3 days, is that okay?
All
I'll give
right.
you enough time?
Sure.
So
So what's a good day of the week for you guys?
What's the first day?
Tuesdays.
Maybe the operations meeting in August is gonna be the
Doesn't have
first
to
one.
be that Tuesday.
Well, that's up to you. If you want that operations committee meeting to be partially the budget presentation.
Normally it's three
Right.
meetings.
Yes, yes.
Well, I think we should do the operations, the normal date, but instead of 1 o'clock, make it 12 o'clock so we can conduct business, and at 1 o'clock, we'll do the budget. Does that work for everybody?
Sure,
This way you can go through your reports and then we can,
okay. Okay, so
what's that date?
that's August 27th,
Okay. So 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock, okay. And then at that time, we can schedule when we'll have our second meeting.
Right.
Okay, works for me.
1 a.m. on the 28th.
12.
Well,
Me is 12, the budget vote in
12 is the
27.
ops.
You guys missed it.
He said 12 o'clock for the ops meeting.
Right.
And 1 o'clock for the pre-budget.
1 a.m.
Okay.
Think about what I just said, 1 a.m.
But you're not saying
All right, thank you guys, I appreciate it.
All right.
That's it for me.
All right. I guess, Dan, you're up.
Yeah, we went over a lot of these last time, but.
Yeah, yeah.
It's still the same situation, we did get the full inspection.
But we don't need to.
Hello?
Yep, we got you.
All right, we did get our final roof inspection by our engineer, everything, checked out, their punch list was worked out by the contractors, so, should be, did they get a final check on that yet? Not yet, so we're still,
Okay.
this roof here,
Mhm.
it's on the clubhouse. So everything's working out pretty nicely with them, with the engineer and the contractor, as we discussed last time. The lift station, I should have something by the end of today, or if not tomorrow morning, okay? So again, we'll probably just give you, give it to you, for you to see, okay? But I'm trying to get it lower than the price that we have for the increase of the 16,000 to try to get it down. Since it's a last minute deal, we should be able to get something, okay?
Okay.
I'm also pushing it so that we can get the permit, so. that we
For
can
the,
get
for Southampton.
Yeah, for the lift station, actually.
Okay.
Dorchester fence, I'm gonna have Eva discuss that a little bit here because this is a referencing to a bush line that she's been discussing with me.
Okay.
And I'll let you.
Take the last one,
Take that one.
Southampton.
Southampton, like we said, we're still working on the permit with that. Like we
Okay.
talked before. we
Has
have
it been
survey.
submitted or you
It's
just?
been submitted, we're just getting, we're getting a survey that we have to have for them.
Okay.
We discussed, they have less than 3 years, let's have a survey, so.
Yes.
Yes.
All mine. Okay. So first I want to say the water came in late, but anybody who wants a water is sitting over there and it is cold. Also a reminder that after this meeting, we will be doing the facilities tour at the chiller.
Yeah, use it.
Very true, sorry.
All right, so I said water is here and it's cold. And then after this, we'll be doing the facilities tour. So for those that didn't respond but would still like to join us, we would love to have you. So just think about that.
Just walking around the facility, watching and looking at all the work that's been done.
All right, and then, so we're gonna talk about the Dorchester fence was supposed to start this week, the installation. They didn't have all of the parts. So it's been put off another week, but I was so excited this week. I was looking forward to actually going over there. I thought I was gonna have pictures for everybody that they broke ground, but that wasn't the case. So just anybody who's watching, it should start next week. These, yes, ma'am.
Wait, no, I'm looking, I don't see anything.
I know, I know,
My pool, but I look at it.
I know.
It's been 5 years, I think, for the week we were, you know.
What's a week after
What's a
5
week
years?
at 5 years?
I think it's a little more than 5 years.
Yeah.
It
I think it was painted 3 years ago
Yeah.
and we
More than
didn't.
that.
Well, we
I
got,
think-
remember, COVID is 4 years now. So
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It's definitely more than 5 years.
It
More than
is.
five
Yeah,
years,
yeah, I know.
definitely more than 5 years,
Absolutely
yes.
more than 5 years. I think it's closer to like 8, and that's really disgraceful when you think about it. So, also I wanted to bring up the list that we had gone over at the special meeting. And just wanted everyone to look at it, and that it is accepted by the committee that we will move forward to get prices and present them at budget. I did notice that there were a couple of items that were circled on David's list that was not on ours. One of them was the party room dance floor, and another one was the ramp at the indoor pool. So I think though, for what that would take, that we would not get a price for
I
that.
thought they were both approved. We got a quote for it.
I didn't think that the ramp was, I thought we
The
said,
ramp wasn't, but the dance floor was. Yeah, that's
Yes.
what it was. But not the indoor pool. We said we do the whole thing.
Okay.
the other thing that you've got circled, and I wanted to make sure, was the main clubhouse guest pool 4-foot paver perimeter. I thought we had pushed that one off.
No, we
Or
put
no?
that in.
We did put that in? Because I didn't have it on my list either.
It was the last one.
It was the last one, all right. All right, so the only thing that we're going to take off would be the ramp at the indoor pool. Otherwise, this is the list that we will move forward on to get prices.
Yeah, Eva, we can take off the top one, sailing, engineering for sand erosion. I reset the ties out there, and it was very effective. The worst place we had sand erosion was on the north end of the beach, north of the sidewalk, and 2 months ago I reset them, and even though we had some heavy rains, I regraded behind them. Kathy, my wife, helped, and Mike helped a little bit, but it's working.
Okay.
The only thing we need to do is, poor Kevin with his schedule, we really need to put 2 ties high, one of them in the ground, so that it keeps the ties from moving and anchors them in place. It's working with one, but they're not going to stay in place over time very well. And we need to do the other side the same way. There's plenty of slope.
Dave, what I had suggested when this was brought up, to put a seawall there, which is basically what you're saying,
With
to put an
road.
anchor underground so that it doesn't get washed out.
Yeah, it's real simple, just to dig 8-inch deep trench,
Yeah.
put one tie in the ground,
Right,
and then alternating the seams like you would laying cement blocks.
Mhm.
Put another tie along the top, pin it in, and there's enough drop with the swale up in front of it for the water to head down the ties and around the beach. And, you know, it's working. I don't see why we need an engineer. We just need, you know, some time in Kevin's budget to give, you know, a couple days to guys to do it. And the ties are, you know, you put used railroad ties in the ground. We already have the plastic ties for on top.
Okay.
He's fine. I see your comment.
Question about that?
So-
David,
Yep.
did you actually physically do this work?
Oh, yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't think you should be doing that type of physical work. If there's an insurance claim, I don't know if you would be covered.
I have my own insurance.
That doesn't
I
matter.
wouldn't claim.
That doesn't say you're not going to file a lawsuit. I don't think that should be done.
Just that future, at least bring it up to the attention of you, because we do have procedures and our attorneys too. We're grateful, but unfortunately, bringing it up here in public like this, we have our rules too on this side.
Yeah, Dave has always discussed different ways to approach the different issues that
And
we
we'll
have
work
with
with you,
them.
that's all. We'll work with you.
So, but thank you.
But thank you, yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
I wasn't here for the meeting, but it says main clubhouse, indoor pool exhaust fan relocated. Is that going to be a new fan, or are you just moving it somewhere else?
Well,
We're.
The main,
it needs to be
I
relocated.
think, honestly, I thought we had that one.
oh,
That was crossed off.
that was crossed off. I believe so, yes.
Yeah, that was crossed off.
Well, then cancel it. I have a circle here on my paper. Yep.
Relocate that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I don't know, it's starting.
Any other questions?
I don't know, this is open for discussion. Anybody have any questions, anything you want to say about the list that's been approved?
Well, it looks like we got several differences
Yeah.
Yes.
between the list and
We did.
the circle.
You just see real quick here.
Well, the push,
Top one is gone, so we have,
the push for next budget year, we want to finish up Southampton. All right, so
Yes.
approved there was a new fence, replace the coping, and some touch-up to the landscaping. All right, and then that would finish that pool area, because this year it got the new roof and the gutters, and it's going to get the new bathrooms, and so this would finish it up, and that's our goal, is to go from one pool area to the next and get it done. So in the next budget year, we would start with Kent, and that would be the diamond brighting. The paver perimeter that was put in needs a line demarcating the 4 feet from the actual pool. All right, and that's a county code. So that has to be done. And then
The coping.
the coping. All right, and then the following year, we would ask then to do the restroom, new roof and gutters, new fence, and we definitely need some new landscaping over there. We have a couple of cameras that we're gonna still be putting in for safety reasons. The main clubhouse indoor pool exhaust fan, this is something that we've been working on for a while, and when we get to it, we're going to be relocating it. It's very noisy, and so there's no sound absorption in that indoor pool. You cannot even hear yourself think, never mind talk to the person next to you. So it will make it much more quiet, and we were thinking of attaching it, putting it over by the wood shop. Okay, so definitely it's on the to-do list, and it's an important one, because the people that use the pool complain about how noisy it is in there and echoing all the time.
There's three things here,
Yeah,
three things. David's list is not on our list. Between the fan and the guest pool 4-foot perimeter and the ramp, those three things are circled but not on the list.
So
that-
the ramp is
That's
off.
my mistake.
Oh, okay.
right.
Okay.
All right.
The exhaust fan was definitely on.
Exhaust fan is off.
taken off.
It was.
Was.
And the only thing that's missing,
Take the exhaust fan off now?
Yes.
No. I think it's off. We don't have to do engineering.
What about the guest pool 4-foot
Yes, that's
paper
on.
perimeter?
That is on.
That's not on
Hang on.
our list.
It's not on ours.
It's missing from our list, right?
And then the sandblasting of the pool deck pavers, what my memory is that we were not gonna do all of them, but we were going to include just Camden to keep that moving forward. And that is where the pavers will be sandblasted and then resealed properly. That's just one pool though, it's Camden, so there's a difference there. David doesn't have that circled, but we do have it on our list.
Well, I don't even have Camden on here.
No,
That's
we
something
don't.
that came out of left
It's
field.
not on here.
Yes, it is on our list, it is.
It's not
Not on our list.
It's on your list, but it wasn't identified as Camden.
Yeah, I don't
think
Well, it says.
We didn't discuss, I mean, we added the Camden.
I thought that's what I heard, that we were only gonna do the one. Well, this is why we wanted to go over this. So just take that off completely, or what do you wanna do? Absolutely.
So it's coming off?
We had discussed if it's absolutely necessary,
So then we
It's
take that
not.
off.
take it off. Since it wasn't even on the original
We
list.
took off Camden, or I was gonna do some other stuff on it, so that's fine. Because we had the back right.
Okay, so.
Okay.
I think so. I think we're good.
What are Johnson controls, if you don't mind my asking?
Thermostat.
Controls,
Yeah, I-
that's our air conditioning control systems.
Thank you. That's it?
Are we okay?
I think so.
For the moment, yeah.
Under that, further down, your meeting room A, cameras, you're including sound system with that? Speakers? Like we got speakers in here?
We don't have cameras or speakers. You mean speakers for an event?
Yeah,
I'm talking about cameras for security purposes.
okay, I know the cameras are for security purposes, but as long as we're running extra wires, if we've got something for sound, when you have meetings in there, it's hard to hear sometimes. Especially if your ice machine or something happens to kick on and makes extra noise.
Okay, so you want a speaker system?
Yeah,
All right, I would have to get to Steve, and I would have to get a price.
It's not absolutely necessary, John.
it's not absolutely necessary, but it's been talking about getting a price for a year and a half now, so I figured, so we can get a price.
I don't remember that, but anything is possible.
All right, so that would be for, I'll get a price for 25-26 budget.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I think we are.
Hard Rock Casino plus air.
No, yes, so,
Before you go into that,
sure.
not to confuse the people that weren't here, or not here last time, that all these or just requests, doesn't mean they have to be approved for the budget for next year.
We're getting prices, and then we'll sit down and discuss again, okay?
Well, the reason for this list was we wanted to know what it was you wanted to see us concentrate on. And that way we don't have to get prices for jobs we're not even, United wouldn't even consider approving. Because it's become very difficult to do that. You have to hound people to give you prices for work to be done, so.
I just saw the second page, so that's, it was listed differently.
Yes.
Well, yes.
The other page. Okay.
The first page was their wish list. The second page was what we actually kind of approved to bring forward for them to get estimates for.
Well, yes, and I would say it's more than a wish list, it's the things that we need to move forward. Like, a wish list item might be something a little bit, that doesn't necessarily need to be done, but, right.
Right.
No, well, certainly
Or
not now.
painting the lobby.
Right. Well, the lobby, it's just the ceiling, we can't get up there.
I know.
Yeah, so when the company comes to paint the clubhouse, they'll have the appropriate equipment to get up there. We had ceiling damage, we also have paint peeling, and it's just unsightly, and it's not safe for our guys to get up there. So, anyway, now that we've done this, we have the opportunity to have a bus come in to the village to pick up, to take people to the Hard Rock Casino for a day of gambling. And this would be a $30 cost for the bus ride. Then I think they get $20 worth of free play when they get down there, so I'm sure they give out some kind of tickets or something like that. Yes, yeah, yeah. That, they haven't figured that out yet. I can tell you that the Boca Century Village is interested in being included on the route as well. That was something that they did have years ago, and we might have even had. Do you remember anything here?
The bus used to be outside.
Outside the village, okay.
They used to be by where Wells Fargo were. At one time, they used to pick up over there, and they got chased out of there, and then they went over by the Marshall's building. They were there behind McDonald's, and they got chased out of there too. So,
Well, I've spoken to legal, they're fine as long as you are fine with this. So and it would be daylight hours, because we couldn't have them be coming on property at night when we have shows and trying to, get the bus and people in the parking lots.
Would the vendor have the same hold harmless requirements that you typically ask?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We've already gotten a certificate of approval. He got it right the first time, where we've had to chase different companies 10 and 12 times.
You
To
mean
get the
certificate
language
of
right.
insurance.
I'm sorry, certificate of insurance, and Laura will be drawing up a specific release for them. So that's all in the works, we're gonna make sure we're covered.
So
And-
who's going?
I haven't even voted, no gamble.
On the second page, you have the ladies' locker room.
Hard Rock Cafe, that's
Yeah.
a nice casino.
That's in, right?
yes, yeah, there's an issue there that where the air conditioning needs to be replaced.
Right.
If I remember correctly.
I'm sorry.
That's it.
No, that's okay.
So that's why we said the air conditioning is something that we got to have.
So do you need an approval vote for this?
I think that legal would appreciate a vote on this, that you do approve for us to move forward to make this happen.
Yeah. I have no issue, but I need somebody to make a motion to allow the bus to come in.
I make a motion to allow the bus from the Hard Rock Cafe come into Century Village to pick up gamblers.
Oh, it's for the Hard Rock Cafe.
I second it.
Okay, so the motion was made by
Joyce?
Joyce and seconded by Maureen.
We better be on that first bus.
I'll be on it.
Sounds good.
Right. And there's, I guess, restaurants down there, and so it's a whole day. Look, to me, it sounds like a lot of fun.
Even if you don't gamble,
Right, exactly, yeah,
it's a day's out.
it is.
Didn't they say something about each person would be given $20?
Right, $20 worth of free play, but the excursion itself is $30 per person.
Okay.
So they'll pick up in the morning, drop off, I think, by between 3 and 4 in the afternoon. But he's putting that schedule together, he's figuring out who everyone's gonna be on the bus route. But as I said, Boca's jumping in there as well. They used to have it, and then people stopped taking the bus, so they dropped them as a route, as part of the stop, but yeah.
And I assume sign up will be directly with the vendor?
Yes,
No,
No, that's what I'm asking.
You're gonna have more than one bus.
Call this number to make a reservation?
exactly.
And how do we get this information out to the community generally, so it's
Well,
fair square?
Once we've locked this in, I'll pass everything on, and we're gonna do what we always do. You're gonna get it, you're gonna get it. You know, we'll put it in the paper, we'll do whatever we can, right?
Currently, we have a
Signs in the-
flyer in the paper
There's
advertising.
an ad in the paper now that makes absolutely no sense.
Even if you say so yourself.
On it, this Pembroke Pines.
I don't know
Nobody has
why.
questioned it. There's another ad that he sent that goes to all the communities, to Hard Rock and Seminole. That's a better ad. He wanted this one. I said, it's your money, have it. But the next
Good
one
for you.
better make better sense.
Well, I can work with him on that and tell him that this was not appropriate to run in our paper, it was appropriate to run in the Pembroke Pines paper. And we'll have that conversation, and I'll ask him to send it to me so I can look it over, and then we'll get it to you. But we'll do a massive ad campaign on it. I think it's exciting. It's fun.
I don't see a downside.
You do?
Because one bus is definitely not gonna.
Except we'll lose that. Won't be able to pay our WPR to get paid for that.
Yeah.
They'll have to get a commission too.
Also,
Yes,
That's it from
we
me.
have a motion.
I have a motion, a second. Are we in discussion?
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Yes.
Okay,
I know there's other clubs here that do this from time to time as a fundraiser, and now we're entertaining a for-profit company to do this instead.
well,
We
I
did
know
it
that
for
there-
pleasure, we didn't do it as a fundraiser.
I know that there's certain clubs that do it to make money, but this is something that's offered to the community, and they can still run their private buses and do what they have. We're not stopping them from doing it,
Golden
or,
Lakes runs
you
it.
know, or even competing with them.
Golden Lakes runs it,
Well,
and a
you
lot
are
of people go
competing
for
with
it.
it.
No,
No, we're not.
no, because we're not making any money on this.
I didn't say you were.
No, but I understand it, but if they wanna make if they're looking to make a profit out of it, then this might not help them. But we're not cutting into it by saying you can't run your own casino trips.
David, the only one that makes money is the one that's doing it, the girl who left here, who was in Golden Lakes, and she uses people from
Right,
here and everywhere. You know who it is, Georgia.
Yeah.
She's the only one. The Christian Club takes $5 more, no big deal, because they provide water or whatever. And we charge exactly what the bus charged us, so it's not a big deal. I don't really think that it would affect anyone. There are more people that wanna go than not. And they keep wanting me to run a trip again. I said, no, I don't want to.
Well, you know, listen, everything happens in season, when everybody comes down and everything's active. Over the summer, we're you know, pretty much dead. So, I also have to respond to the word profit. All right, no club or group should operate
That's right.
for profit. The money that's made should be put back into the club or group for future events, a final, you know, dinner dance at the clubhouse or something, but no club or group should be operating for profit.
That's why I said fundraiser.
But we charge just what the bus charges, it's just $800, we didn't charge anything.
But this company is a for-profit company.
Yeah, it's an outside vendor that's coming in and,
It's not charging us to,
no, right.
it's $800.
I mean,
for me to rent
Does
it.
anybody have a problem with an outside vendor coming in and offering a service to residents of Century Village? Well, that's what we're here for. That's what we're discussing. We're in the middle of discussion. So if you have a question or if you have something, bring it up now. and discuss it. Do you feel comfortable that we can take a vote since there's no more,
What's the name of the company?
Corporate something,
Limousines,
corporate club something.
yeah, corporate club at limousines.com. So yeah, it's, runs all kinds of charters, and
How many times are they going to do this?
he's gonna get back to me with the schedule. I do not have a schedule. I think that 3 times a week would be too much. I know, but I think he'll find out very quickly. He'll have empty buses. I don't think people are prepared to go that many times in a week. I'm sorry?
It's easy to get 3 bus pulls different days.
And that's a conversation we'll have with him. Come season, especially after New Year's, when we're at 14,000 plus people, run it every day and see what you get. We're not gonna know until we try to see what the attendance would be. But to not have to drive all the way down there through all of that construction and traffic, to me, that's worth the $30.
And then you lose your shirt while you're there.
You're muttering under your breath, John. I
I
did
said,
not
and
hear
you lose,
that.
and then you lose your shirt while you're there.
so are we gonna call the question? We're gonna call, very good. All right, David, roll call, please.
Maureen Devigaire,
Yes.
Ruth Treese,
Yes.
David Furness,
Yes.
John Gregg, Richard Handelson,
Yes.
John Hess,
Yes.
Bobby Levitt,
Yes.
Joyce Reese,
Yes.
Fausto Favreau,
Yes?
David Bose votes no. Patricia Caputo,
Yes.
Dominic Farnagia,
Yes.
Kelly Jensen, Stuart Richards,
Yes.
Joanne Robinson,
Yes.
Jerry Sutowski, David Israel. Motion carries.
Thank you. The residents will thank you. That's it as far as I have. You have anything?
No. Any? It's we will have a motion to adjourn.
I make
Michael,
motion
you
to
can,
adjourn.
whenever you're ready, stop. And Dan is now accepting the people that are gonna go